Almost double the number of votes for Jeremy Hunt among Tory members. He paid tribute to his opponent in a victory speech and the woman he'll succeed.
You've been friendly, you've been good-natured, you've been a font of excellent ideas, all of which I propose to steal forthwith. And above all, I want to thank our outgoing leader, Theresa May, for her extraordinary service.
His supporters banged on the table during a meeting of a powerful group of Conservative backbenchers. Former Tory leader Ian Duncan Smith was there.
I thought it was actually a very good speech. He made them laugh, he made them understand the challenge, but at the same time he lifted everybody to say, look, we've faced big challenges before and we've defeated those challenges.
US President Donald Trump has already sung the incoming PM's praises.
They're saying Britain Trump. They call him Britain Trump, and people are saying that's a good thing. That they like me over there. That's what they wanted. That's what they need. That's what they need. He'll get it done. Boris is good. He's going to do a good job.
Labour's Jeremy Corbyn wants a general election so the public can pick a Prime Minister instead of just Conservative members. The EU's chief Brexit negotiator says Brussels is looking forward to working with Mr Johnson. Also this evening, British Airways has failed in a High Court bid to temporarily block pilots from taking strike action over the school holidays in a row over pay. A judge gave permission for BA to appeal against the ruling, which could happen as early as Friday. And Britain could be about to endure its highest nighttime temperature ever recorded as the country swelters in a heat wave. The current nighttime record of 23.9 degrees Celsius was set in Brighton in 1990. That's the latest. I'm Daisy Steele.
Now, with more great community programming for Lancaster and Morecambe.
It's radio done a different way. This is The Resident, where life truly is local, with Greg Lambert. Greg Lambert.
103.5 Beyond Radio.
2 minutes past 6 on Beyond Radio, and your weather for Lancaster and Morecambe area. It's going to be warm tonight. There is a risk of thundery showers overnight, but it will be dry and warm tomorrow with sunny spells, and hot and sunny on Thursday too. All the songs in the first hour from the same year, and I'll explain why later. That's Moloko. Sing it back from 1999. And the reason why we're playing all songs from 1999 in the first hour here on The Resident on Beyond Radio is because today is a very special day. Happy birthday to the town favourite son, Morecambe's favourite son, or at least the statue of Morecambe's favourite son. Eric Morecambe statue is 20 years old today. It was on July the 23rd, 1999, when Her Majesty the Queen visited the town of Morecambe and unveiled Eric. And ever since, Eric has been on the promenade in all his glory, pulling in tourists, and I think without a doubt the town's #1 tourist attraction. People constantly having photos taken with him, celebrities, just people who've come in from out of town, just wanting to go and strike the famous Eric pose and have their photo taken. And it was quite an interesting story about how the statue came to be. And I'm going to be talking to a man who was quite heavily involved in the protests at the time, the campaigning. The Visitor newspaper was quite heavily involved in, and the editor at the time was Glenn Cooper, and Glenn's going to be here to talk about that and also talk about the day, because he was there on the day, met the Queen and all that, so we'll be finding out about that. And if you were there, or if there was a big crowd there to watch the unveiling, get in touch. Let us know your memories, your stories, your messages from the day when the Eric Morecambe statue was unveiled. We've already had quite a few coming in on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Beyond Radio. You can also email directly to the studio@beyondradio.co.uk. Text us on 07399085508. Standard text rate applies. Send us your happy birthday messages to the Eric Morecambe statue, or your memories and stories from July the 23rd, 1999. When he arrived in Morecambe. So yeah, all the songs from 1999, including not this one. It's the only one that isn't. But Glenn will explain in a bit why he's picked this one, because Glenn's picked all the songs. This is Tinted Out featuring Shelley Nelson. Here's where the story ends. the same year. All the songs bar that one from 1999 because it's the 20th birthday of the Eric Morecambe statue, and to that end, I'll introduce my guest. Delighted to be joined on The Resident this evening by former editor of The Visitor, Mr. Glenn Cooper. Hello, Glenn.
Evening, Greg. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. So when you hear hear that song, playing a bit of Bring Me Sunshine, a bit of Morecambe and Wise in the background, just to give the flavour. What does that mean to you when you hear that song?
Well, at the moment, it reminds me of karaoke because that's mine and Paul Morgan's karaoke duet song. But yeah, fantastic memories of those days when the Visitor launched the campaign, of course, to get the money together for the Eric Morecambe statue, and eventually resulting in the unveiling by Her Majesty the Queen, of course.
Absolutely. So, how did that all start then, the actual campaign?
I won't say it was a fluke. It was something that came quite by chance. We had, at that time, a series of feature articles in the Visitor called Local Hero, and we asked people to nominate unsung heroes in the town. I reckon McClary Hollins, the groundsman at Christie Park, was one. And we sifted through the nominations, and then I think it was something like once a month we would go and do a feature, have a chat with the person in question, give them a little award, take some photographs. And it was during that process we had a letter from a member of the public who, and I can still see it to this day, it was a handwritten letter, only very short, and it said, "There's only one real true Morecambe hero, that's Eric Morecambe, and the town shall build a statue to him." And it was an idea that the managing editor at the time, a chap called Jeremy Gom, brought me and Mike Worley, the editor, into his office at that time and said, "What do you think about this as an idea?" And I have to admit, I was a little bit cautious because I thought it's going to be a heck of a project, it's going to cost a hell of a lot of money, and if we're not successful we're going to have egg on our faces. But he was keen to do it. Mike, ever the optimist of course, had confidence in the people of Morecambe to raise the money, and the campaign was launched, front page of the Visitor, and we took it on from there.
Was there a lot of affection for Eric in Morecambe at that time? Because I mean, I've always kind of, there's always been a bit of a myth that Eric was more popular in Morecambe after the statue, or maybe after he passed away.
I don't think so. He came back quite a lot, and he always he took his stage name from the town. Of course, we all know that, but he still had an affection. He moved down south, and we know that he had an affinity with Luton Town Football Club. They still have the Eric Morecambe suite. Morecambe fans went there dressed as Eric a couple of times, but he always had that affection for Morecambe, and that's where he was brought up. And I think the town, he'd never said anything disparaging about the place, or maybe once or twice as sort of an aside joke, but he'd never forgotten where he came from, and I think people respected him for that. And of course he was liked by the whole country, so I think Morecambe people had a particular reason to hold him as one of their own, so there was never any resistance at all to doing anything like that for Eric Morecambe.
I always say that you can't do any more to promote the town that you're born in as a famous person than to make your stage name the actual place where you're from. I mean, in terms of showing pride in Morecambe, that was the ultimate act from Eric.
And I'm sure there'll be people to this day who, when they go abroad or they go other places in this country, will tell people where they're from, and they'll say, "Oh, Eric Morecambe," because that's, to a lot of people, that's what the town is still known for. So
donations then from the public, they came in thick and fast, did they?
They did, and there was one thing what Jeremy said, and I'll explain a little bit more about this later. He said anybody donating £5 or more would get their name inscribed. He said at the time on the statue we kind of had an idea for it being on a plinth, but then as it went, the decision was made to have it sort of almost life size and at ground level, with the idea being specifically, as we've seen today, that people could stand next to it and have the picture taken. They didn't want it to be aloof, so you'll see the names carved if you look around the perimeter of the statue. There's the walkway up there, and you'll see the names engraved on on flags within the paving there. It turned out that the engraving of them cost about £5 to do anyway, so it was fortunate that the city council and the business community of the area rallied round. City council took it on as a project that they would happily back. They sought European funding at the time because the promenade was being regenerated and rebuilt, so they kind of mixed it in with that kind of funding. There was the Turn project, of course, which was all the bird artwork, which is why Eric has bird watching gear and binoculars on the statue rather than his top hat and cane that might be more familiar to TV viewers. By latching on to his interest, and he did have a genuine interest in bird watching. There's a hide named after him at Leyden Moss. By doing that, we could nick it into the funding for the Turn project and get a bit more money. And there was local businesses were very generous. Morrison's particularly, I think they put something like 40 grand into it. And eventually, you know, the sort of hard work that we were doing from the public, we raised quite a lot of money, but it was never going to pay for something as grand as we see today. So it was the business community and the city council taking it on that really saw it over the line.
Do you remember how much it cost?
I think it was something like 120,000 at the time, which sounds nothing now when you talk about you know, the amounts that people go to for the. I might be wrong on that. I think that was the initial build.
This is before the years of crowdfunding and raising money through the internet.
Yeah. So you know, we're pretty much calling on favours from people because Morrison's were fairly new in town then, and they wanted to be good neighbours, as they have been. They contributed some to the Turn project as well. That's why there's near the Morrison's roundabout, you'll see the Bantam there. They've got heavily involved in all that kind of thing, having premises near the front. So yeah, we were grateful for all that to help us see it over the line.
So how did the sculptor Graham Ibison get involved? At what point was he?
I think I wasn't involved directly in that, but I think there was a kind of tender process where people put ideas forward, and he'd done some work for local authorities elsewhere and put his proposal forward. Somewhere deep in the bowels of the visitor office, it might. I don't know whether they've transferred to the new offices, but there were sort of papier-mâché maquettes and early versions of it. He submitted to the steering group who were in charge of it and had to tweak. And I think the family were involved, had a little look at it and said, "Yeah, you've not got this quite right," which is normal process for that kind of project.
That's
until they got it
right. Yeah. That is right, because I remember when I worked for the Visitor,
it was in a big metal cabinet.
We were moving offices, and I saw some of those maquettes. And actually, it was round about the time, I think, when we were moving, or just moved, that the Eric Morecambe statue was vandalised in 2014. So Graham came back to the town to be involved in the repair process. And I remember him coming to the office and reviewing some of the original prototypes. So yeah, that's absolutely right. Okay, fascinating stuff. We're going to talk to you a little bit more about the actual day itself. But can you remember how long did the process take of fundraising altogether?
Do you know? I don't know.
Because Matty Dayton's been asking on Facebook.
It was probably 3 or 4 years because, like I said, it was the fundraising to get the amount in the first place, and then there's quite a process with this. You know, the selection of the final version of the statue. So I would imagine it was 3 or 4 years, but you know, I've slept since then.
But yeah, this is it, a massive fundraising drive to get the Eric Morecambe statue. So a lot of people involved in that. This community effort has resulted in the brilliant, iconic tribute to the man that's there today. And a few of you have been getting in touch on Facebook or through email to give us some messages and some memories. 20 years today since the Eric Morecambe statue was unveiled. Bolton says I was 45, 46 at the time. My birthday's in July as well. Mark Ribbick can't believe it's been 20 years. Natalie Vrangi says I was there when the Queen visited Morecambe to unveil the statue. John Kennedy says I can't see the statue without Bring Me Sunshine skipping through my mind. Well, of course we're playing that right now. I noticed there's somebody as well, I want to know this story, but somebody's posted on the Facebook page, on the Beyond Radio Facebook page, about somebody who had a spectacular fall on the day of the statue being unveiled. If you can tell us more about that story, I'm quite interested. What happened there? Get in touch. Drop us an email, studio@beyondradio.co.uk. But yeah, if you were there, I know there was some young dancers performed for the Queen as well, I think, on the day. If you were part of the dance troupe, and obviously again, one or two people mentioning that on the Facebook page. Get in touch. Tell us your stories and your memories of the day the Eric Morecambe statue came to Morecambe, July the 23rd, 1999, exactly 20 years ago today. And we'll talk a little bit more to Glenn Cooper, former editor of The Visitor, about the day itself and his memories of that very, very soon here on Beyond Radio.
If you own a local business, you could unlock the power of radio advertising with Beyond Radio. Our advertising packages are simple and affordable, and with easy payment terms, you could be shouting your business message to our listeners for less than you think. Support great community programming across Lancaster and Morecambe with 103.5 Beyond Radio advertising. Visit our website for more information, beyondradio.co.uk.
Beyond Radio.
It's back. Yes, Fibbers Pub is back. And it's under a new local management too. Fibbers is the local pub serving a changing selection of superb local beers and ales. And introducing our newly launched food menu too. With all your favourite traditional pub classics cooked to perfection. With live music, DJs every Friday and Saturday night till late. And the return of the famous Fibbers karaoke and quiz. Fibbers really is back. And in a big way too. Fibbers Pub, we're back. With great food, great drinks, and great times.
The waterfront restaurant inside the Clarendon Hotel is serving great homemade food. Our fabulous lunchtime menu starts from just £5.95 Monday to Saturday. Afternoon teas just £11.95. A warm welcome awaits at the waterfront restaurant inside the Clarendon Hotel, Morecambe. Call us for our promotional offers or on 010.
One room, 1 hour, one challenge. Can you escape? With a choice of 3 rooms to escape from, team up with family and friends in company at the top and share the keys to secure your freedom. It's also great for team building. Saturday night at Lancaster Estate begins with a nice feature serving great coffee and cocktails. LancasterEstate.co.uk.
Gary! Huh? You're looking a bit worn out. Gary? You're really bored. Gary, you know you're just a car tire.
If your car or van tyres are just like Gary, worn out and bald, visit TRSR Tyre Bay in Heysham Business Park for new and part-worn tyres. Call Gary 07701 842.
Insurance means peace of mind. Peace of mind means you can concentrate on growing your business. Growing your business means success. It all starts with Trust Insurance Services, your commercial insurance broker. Find us online at trust.insurance or call 015 Insurance means peace of mind. Ask Insurance Services is an appointed representative of Momentum Brokers Solutions, which is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.
At Lancaster Bed Company, you can be assured of both quality and choice when buying your next bed or mattress. We only stock product ranges from the best British manufacturers, including Hypnos, Harrison, Sealy and Vicespring. With expert help and advice from the owners Christine and Phil, you'll have peace of mind, but most importantly, a good night's sleep. Visit our website, lancasterbedcompany.co.uk, or pop in and see us. We're on Penny Street, Lancaster, near KFC, or call 01524 874 382. Lancaster Bed Company. Quality every time.
Here at Lancaster Smokehouse, it's no secret that we offer only the best selection of smoked and unsmoked fish, meat, poultry and game. Have a look at our luxury handmade burger and sausage rolls too. Or how about our outstanding gifts? We've got hampers and gift boxes aplenty. We don't just stop there. We've got pickles, cheeses, chutney and condiments too. Our shop at Glasson Dock is open 7 days a week, but you can order online at lancastersmokehouse.co.uk.
We're proud to be local. 103.5 Beyond Radio.
We've come a long, long way together through the hard
That was another hit from 1999, number one in fact, for Fatboy Slim with Praise You. And we're playing all the songs from 1999 the first hour because we're celebrating 20 years since the unveiling of the Eric Morecambe statue. The Queen came to unveil the statue on the 23rd of July 1999 on Morecambe Promenade. My cousin Fiona posted a nice little memory actually on Facebook saying that the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh drove past the cafe she was working at. We were all waving from the cafe windows. It was very exciting. The royal train went past our house earlier in the morning too. Well, one man who was at the cut and thrust of the actual fundraising campaign when he was editor of The Visitor, and he was also there on the day, is Glenn Cooper, my guest. Hello, Glenn. Again.
Hey, how are you?
So what are your memories of the actual day? Take us through it sort of from start to finish. Imagine as editor of the local newspaper, it's quite a proud day, quite a nervous day. How are you feeling?
Yeah, and we had a very, very formal pack of sort of instructions of where to be at what time of the day and all the different protocols. We launched a competition to run alongside the campaign. We'd been invited by the City Council, we'd been given a couple of places to the unveiling ceremony that we could offer to readers, so we wanted to particularly get the children involved. I remember with a couple of girls at the time, they had the competition was they had to describe in no more than so many words what they would do if they were in charge of showing the Queen and Prince Philip around Morecambe for the day. And we took their country there, and they joined us on the set before the unveiling. It's interesting, the Queen actually unveiled the statue at her own request. She appealed at it, so another person concluded she appealed in Lancaster for an anniversary of their civic charter. So she was in the area anyway, finding out that the statue was ready to be unveiled at about that time, and I'm talking, a year before. It was at her request, being a huge fan of Morecambe and Wise, to, can I unveil it? And the wheels were put in motion so the diverse from Lancaster to Prince of Wales was all the company. That's how we got the film involved in the first place. And lots of invited guests across the family, most of the family were there, we've invited quite a lot of the celebrities who've been involved in famous Morecambe and Wise shows, particularly the Christmas ones, and other deaths. I think Angela Rippon was in she was there or not, to be honest. My memory's a bit fuzzy with that. But I know Frank Finlay was, and Sir Robin Davis. Robin Day particularly, and the look at his now weeks afterwards, he went up to all the photographs that the photographer was taking, and it was, quite interesting getting the call. He was very humble, he was sort of giving his address, didn't let on who he was. And I took the call actually, and he was saying, yes, my name is Jay, and I thought, I know who you are. Anyway, but it wasn't, yes, Sir Robin, off the telly, it was, my name is Day, and I'll give you my address, blah, 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 so he ordered about half a dozen copies of photographs that he was on, but really interesting day. The people of Morecambe turned out in their hundreds and hundreds. Visitor, of course, blanket coverage that week, and loads and loads of pictures in that next week's edition. And fantastic day. And then of course everybody trooped back to Lancaster City Council, because I'd say that's why she was here really in the first instance. So there was a huge meal in the Mayor's banqueting suite, so I can say to this day, as a lot of people can, that you've had lunch with the Queen and Prince Philip. Right.
So were you introduced to
Yes, the whole of the sort of reception party were one by one introduced to Prince Philip and the Queen. I think the Queen was a very, swift sort of nod and bow. It was more up for it, who are you, what do you do? And I remember him asking the two girls who'd won the competition, because I introduced them and explained why they were there, and he was saying, "Oh, where are we going then?" And at the time we still had, remnants of a fairground. He said, "Oh, I'd enjoy that." And he was quite jolly.
I could just imagine Prince Philip on a Texas Tornado at the old Frontierland. That would have been quite something, wouldn't it?
It was good to see. And I remember my eldest daughter, Faye, she was there, and I could hear her shouting, "Don't you talk to my daddy, you queen." She was a bit protective when the queen got anywhere near. Yeah, but
Should have been quite. Right, interesting stories there. I'm sure the Queen laughed that off. But yeah, it was a big day. I'm one of my all-time real disappointing things was I wasn't there. I was working in Lancaster at the time, missed the whole thing. But I saw the photos and the footage on the TV, and a massive day for the town. But was there any kind of real sense at the time that it might turn into this, iconic tourist attraction that it's become?
I honestly don't think so. I think something like 1.5 million people extra were said to have come in the year after that. And I mean, even today, I was driving down at the weekend, and whatever time of day, unless it's absolutely hurling it down, almost whatever time of day you get there, there's always either 5, 6, 7 people, of which half of them will be posing, doing the pose. I did it on my wedding. A couple of years after that, we made a point of going from the register office at Lancaster down to the statue to get photographs with all the wedding party down there. And I'm sure lots of others do similar things on special occasions as well, local people. But you can see nearly all the time, and it's that affection. And that's why it was such a great decision. And I think Graham Ibbotson had a role in that, saying, no, we don't want it high up on a plinth that nobody can get anywhere near it. You want people to be able to stand next to him, put their arms around him and do the pose. And I think that's worked really well, like not many other statues in the country, I would suggest.
Yeah, you're right. And they're still doing it today. I mean, I was down there this afternoon. We've got gorgeous weather on the promenade today. And just people, of all ages, kids, families, older people, going up, taking a photo, selfies, video, just wanting to just be next to Eric for a few minutes and do that pose like you.
I think that's part of the decision. I mean, there's a couple of the comments that came in, I would say not so much now, but around that time, the only negative comments we had really were, why isn't he facing the other way, looking out over the bay? And I think, again, that was part of the consideration. When people have their picture taken, they want the scenery of the magnificent bay behind in the background. So there was that, and also that Eric's looking back onto his town. And the other comment was, why not with Ernie? Why not a Morecambe and Wise statue? And my argument to that was always, A, it was set up initially to honour a local hero for Morecambe, and of course Ernie Wise wasn't that. He was part of the greatest comedy duo we've ever had in a National Treasure, but he has his own statue in Morley in Yorkshire, and that's absolutely right. A statue of Eric Morecambe and Ernie Wise as the comedy duo could be anywhere in the country, and I think it's fitting probably that it's Blackpool, either the BBC I would have said, or Blackpool, because you could say that's the entertainment capital of the country, and as a comedy duo, as a national treasure, it's appropriate that they're somewhere that's significant for entertainment. So either outside the BBC headquarters or Blackpool's fine for me for the duo, and Eric belongs in his hometown.
That's right. I mean, there was another interesting story is after the vandalism of the Eric statue in 2014, when somebody hacksawed his leg and they had to be repaired by Greg Henderson, and thankfully got it back as good as new. There was such an outpouring of emotion that they started a fundraising campaign for an Eric Morecambe and Ernie Wise frieze it was going to be, and the idea was to put it, I think originally the land was kind of tentatively earmarked opposite the Winter Gardens on the front, and they started fundraising for it, but it didn't quite come to fruition, and I think in the end, like I think you alluded to, it ended up in Blackpool Winter Gardens. which is where it is now. But yeah, that's an appropriate place for it, because like you say, they performed more in Blackpool than they did in Morecambe. Although they did do a summer season at the Winter Gardens.
They did, yeah. I mean, they performed here, and with Alma Cogan and people like that, and Caprini, I think, massive stars at the time. But I think it's more the point that Morecambe Wise, as the comedy duo, belongs to the country. Eric Morecambe belongs to Morecambe.
Absolutely. No, that's well put, indeed. So have you got any memories? Have you got any favourite Eric Morecambe sketches? What's your favourite Eric Morecambe sketch?
I don't know. I think the Roman sketch. I think I like that one.
Okay, that's interesting. It's Andrew Previn for me.
I mean, that's the obvious one to say, and I think it's probably the one that still makes me laugh the most. But when he says you're a bit sure about that far.
It's just the timing is amazing, and Andrew Previn's really, really good in it. But yeah, if you've got any favourite memories of the statue, were you there on the day? Get in touch, email us, studio@beyondradio.co.uk, or go on our Facebook page, facebook.com/beyondradio, or text us to 07399 085508. Standard text rate applies. Share your memories of the day. It's July the 23rd, 1999, as we are talking about now, when the Eric Morecambe statue was unveiled. What the Eric Morecambe statue means to you, what Eric Morecambe means to you, any favourite sketches, jokes, get in touch with Beyond Radio. It's 6:46 p.m. and we're going to play another song from 1999. Here's Basement Jaxx.
Across Balerig, Moorlands, Overton, we're proud to be local too. We are Beyond Radio.
With summer here, things may be hotting up outside, but now's a great time to buy a new fire or fireplace for your house. The big fire sale is now on at HECAS, with new index display gas and electric fires on sale from just £150. Yes, £150. Take advantage of the hot weather and the hot fireplace deals. And buy where the trade buys. At HECAS Middlegate, Whiteland Industrial Estate, Morecambe. Visit hecas.co.uk.
If you're looking for a wedding venue, look no further than the Clarendon Hotel, with wedding packages starting from just £1,500 to suit all budgets. For weddings, functions and more, call the Clarendon Hotel in Morecambe on 410 180.
You've always dreamt of owning a holiday home by the sea. Well, it's so easy at Ocean Edge Holiday Park. Our new 2019 range of holiday homes is available now. Plus, we have a huge choice of pre-loved models from just $15,995. And with deposits from just 10%, owning your very own holiday home is more affordable than you might think. Create amazing memories at Ocean Edge Holiday Park near Morecambe Bay. Call 01524 238 131 or click parkdeanresorts.co.uk to book your visit.
And the final question for the big prize. Which local company can help your business work smarter with managed IT systems, CRM, cloud and email solutions? A local company providing IT services? Do you want to use a lifeline?
No, it's easy. Hughes Solutions
is the correct answer. Hughes Solutions. Visit hughes.solutions or call 238 999.
Okay, let's go.
Wait, did you close the kitchen window?
Yep, done.
Leave a couple of lights on?
Yeah.
Did you set the alarm?
No, we don't have an alarm.
What? Wait, we don't have an alarm?
ICU Security supply and fit intruder alarms and CCTV to give you peace of mind.
You can monitor your home security via your mobile device.
Prices to suit all budgets. ICUsecurity.co.uk.
Butcher and tonic. 2 great nights out in one. Down on fabulous locally sourced meats upstairs, and downstairs it's gin bar. Over 120 designer gins, 20 tonics, great ales too. Get 3 courses and 3 gins Monday to Thursday for just £25. And live entertainment all weekend. Butcher and tonic, Church Street, Lancaster.
Castle Windows of Morecambe supply and fit quality aerated windows, doors and conservatories right across the area. Fast and reliable, you really should call Castle. 841314. That's 841314. It's less hassle when you buy from Castle.
Castle Windows.
Across Line, Goldgate, Hest Bank.
We're proud to be local too.
Beyond Radio.
Just a bit of information just that's been coming in while we've been on air. There's been an incident on Bear Lane this afternoon, which I think caused the level crossing barriers at Bear Lane Station to be down for a period of time. Some traffic and buses being diverted. We have had some reports just coming in now that the barriers may be up and working again. We'll try and get some more information on that as we stay on air here throughout the evening on Beyond Radio. There was also an official tweet I've noticed from National Rail Inquiry saying there was a fault with the barriers, which was being looked at by Network Rail. But there's also reports elsewhere that a vehicle may have struck the level crossing barriers early on this afternoon. So we'll try and get some information on that. We do believe that the barriers may be up again, and we'll just try and keep you informed throughout the evening here on Beyond Radio. So, my guest Glenn Cooper. Thank you for being here, Glenn. I'm going to have to wrap you up now, unfortunately, because it's been a good chat about the history of Eric Morecambe's statue. But we're just going to have time to play one more song, which you're going to let us know about, the story behind it.
Yeah, well, it's one from 1999, but just coincidentally, this time last year we were in Spain and watching the actual Santana at Fuengirola Castle. And then this weekend, of course, it's Oye Santana, the tribute band at the platform, which we're going to. So that's quite a coincidence. When I saw that on the list of 1999 hits, I thought, go on, we'll have that one. And I've just got to say hello to my other daughters. I've mentioned Faye, Georgia, Tess and Lily listening at home. Get me tea on.
Excellent. Well, actually, we don't have time to play it in the first hour, but what we'll do is I will play it as the first song in the second hour.
Excellent. I'll wait and listen for it.
Just for you, that's what I will do. But thank you very much for being on the show this evening and chatting about your memories of the Eric Morecambe statue unveiling in 1999.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and we didn't even get to talk about Morecambe
Football Club, no.
Maybe another night.
No, we can. You can stay in the second hour and talk about it then, because I usually do anyway in the second hour. If you want to stay, you're more than welcome. But yeah, thank you very much for being here, and stay tuned to the Resident on Beyond Radio, because after the news, we'll be going through local news, sport and entertainment. And yes, we will be playing Santana and talking a little bit about the Strings and the Dolly Blues as well as cricket and some more news and what's going on in the local area here in Lancaster. Come on Beyond Radio.
Boris Johnson's preparing to take over as Prime Minister. He comfortably won the Tory leadership race, taking 2/3 of the vote, defeating rival Jeremy Hunt. He said he's now committed to getting Britain out of the European Union by the 31st of October. New Liberal Democrat leader Jo Swinson, who won her party's top job only yesterday, says Britain deserves better and Boris Johnson's not fit to be Prime Minister. President Trump, though, has tweeted his congratulations to Mr Johnson, saying he'll be great at number 10. The Confederation of British Industry have called on Mr Johnson to work with businesses to get the UK back on track, and stock markets generally reacted well to Mr Johnson's success, share prices moving gently up during the day's trading in London. And other news, the Met Office says we could see record-breaking temperatures by Thursday as the heatwave continues to take hold in much of the country. Forecasters believe readings could top the previous all-time high of 37 degrees Celsius. That's the latest from Radio News Hub. I'm Dave Rhodes.
Have you ever lost money on an investment? If a high street bank persuaded you to buy a stocks and shares ISA, unit trust or investment bond and you lost money, you could be entitled to thousands of pounds in compensation. It doesn't matter if you no longer have the investment or can't find the paperwork. You could still be owed thousands. Text LOST to 60777 and Goodwin Barrett will start a free assessment to find out how much you could be owed. Text LOST to 60777 and Goodwin Barrett will call you back.
Now, with more great community programming for Lancaster and Morecambe.
It's radio done a different way. This is The Resident, where life truly is local, with Greg Lambert.
103.5 Beyond Radio.
2 minutes past 7 on this Tuesday evening, and you'll be on radio weather. It's going to be warm tonight with a risk of thundery showers overnight, dry and warm with sunny spells tomorrow, and hot and sunny on Thursday. I promised I would play this. Because we're still celebrating the fact that it's the 20th birthday of Eric Morecambe's statue, and that was from 1999 as well. As chosen by my guest this evening, the former editor of The Visitor, Glenn Cooper, who's still here. Can't get rid of him. He's here because we're going to talk a little bit about sport. We're going to bring you the sports news and then talk to Glenn a little bit about his thoughts on the Morecambe Football Club upcoming season. But first, local cricket, and it's getting tight at the top of the Morley Smalley Palace Shield Premier Division. Lancaster still top, 16 points clear, beat Penwithen over the weekend, reaching a target of 163 with 11 overs to spare. Atkinson top scoring with 44. Morecambe, for their trouble, defeated New Monton by 94 runs to stay in second place, mainly thanks to a knock of 75 by Dino Bacon. Interesting news in the world of and it's good luck to Mary Bourne-Jones, who's going to take on the challenge of a lifetime, taking part in the year-long Clipper Round the World Yacht Race, one of the 11 boats. Good luck to Mary from Lancaster. Football news, we're in pre-season, not too far off the start of the new season now. It takes like 5 minutes since the last one ended. For some international footballers, like, I don't know, reading the other day, like people like Sadio Mane from my team, Liverpool, well, they've even had a pre-season. He was playing in the African Nations Cup final the other day. But anyway, Dolly Blues to Lancaster City. They're playing Barrow tonight at the Giant Axe. Down there. Coming off a 4-2 defeat against Charlotte Richard last weekend. Their first game in the Northern Premier League against August. That's Morecambe, well, they're playing away at Marine on Thursday night. Had a mixed pre-season. They lost to Barrow 2-0 last season. They didn't beat Everton under 23 games away over the weekend. And they also got a patch up and then the Leicester score. And that's England's rugby head coach Brian Ashton is having a chat with the Morecambe Football Club squad on Monday. I think right, Glenn. Yeah. You're a big Morecambe fan, you've told them. All your life, into you at Wembley in 2007, and you've been able to the whole cup again. Just wait, Morecambe is Morecambe. Come back on the screen. So what are your thoughts about the new season?
Two lads who made the difference in the second half of last season, Richie Bennett, who we had on loan from Carlisle, and the lad who was signed, and he was released by Wolves, Aaron Collins. They've both gone to pastures new, and the curse of the player of the season, so we've had some decent players left. Gutted to hear this last week that Andy Fleming's going to have to retire as well. I was watching some clips of some of our best performances for last season. That led to a goal for Morecambe. Unbelievable. And wish him well with whatever he chooses to do in the future. He's one of my favourite players over the last 10 years or so. Good to know that he put all the quick after he put into an injury at 13 years old. Pre-season, yeah, a bit of a mixed bag, but I always take results at least with a pinch of salt. Remember, 2016. I think we won one pre-season game. We lost 6-1 or 6-2 against Chorley, and ended up when we started the season winning 5 out of our first 6 games. I think last season we had a pretty decent pre-season. I think we only lost 1 against Fleetwood, and then lost 7 of the first 8 league games. So you've got to take the results with a pinch of salt. I've liked the way we've been performing. I've not seen any of the friendly games so far. It's a bit full on when the season starts, so I do like to take a bit of a break from it. You know, I'm going to go home and away when the season actually starts, so I take a break from it during the summer. Watch a bit of cricket. Was at Old Trafford watching Lancashire on Sunday. But yeah, from the highlights that I've seen, we've looked really quite good going forward. They just need somebody to, as everybody does, put it in the net consistently. But a couple of good players up front with AJ Leach-Smith and Cole Stockton. I think they'll be a decent partnership, but I would just like to see, and I think it might happen, because what happens at this stage of the late close season, if you will, is you get a trickle-down effect. You get championship players who try to stay in the championship, maybe been released by their clubs, but want to stay in the championship, don't quite make it in tryouts with other teams, so they kind of go down a level to League One, and then we get League One players dropping down to League Two, and other League Two players who still haven't got a club. But you know, Jim has an eye for these players who are wanting to rekindle their careers, and we've done really well in the past with one or two late signings. So I'm expecting another couple to come in before the season starts, and I think we'll do all right. We looked pretty solid, and a lot of the players who made us look solid at the end of last season are still there. I think we've got a good back line, good full-backs, certainly 3 or 4 decent centre-backs, good midfield, couple of good attackers, but maybe just a couple more just for strength of squad, I think, for when the injuries kick in. But I'm expecting a better end of season position this season than we had last season, and that's tribute to Jim and Ken on what is still a shoestring budget, managing to keep us in the league and put in some good performances season after season.
Yeah, absolutely. So a comfortable League Two position and a cup run. Quinny was in a few weeks ago.
I know that Jim is absolutely desperate. The game away at Halifax last season, it was one of the worst performances we've seen, and it was just like the lads just froze on the night. But you can see, you know, Newport and other teams previously have made a heck of a lot of money, and it stood them in good stead for the next couple of seasons out of a decent cup run. Let's hope we can get that this coming season.
Indeed. So yeah, good luck to the Shrimps. Indeed, good luck to the Dolly Blues. Good luck to all our local league as well. Football teams, and also Lancaster and Morecambe battling out in the cricket league as well. That will go down to the wire by the looks of things, and we'll keep you informed on the battle for the Premier Division Championship in local cricket in the coming weeks here on the Resident and Beyond Radio. But Glenn, thank you very much for stopping with us to go through that. Bring us your MFC expertise, and thanks for being on the show.
Okay, it's been an absolute delight. I'll go home and get some food now.
That's good.
See you soon, Kaz.
I won't be too far behind. So yes, we'll bring you some local news, local what's on in the next 45 minutes here on the Resident and Beyond Radio, and we'll play some more music, including this absolute classic coming up right now.
I picked you out, I
Beyond Radio. Here at Beyond Radio, we love to work local. Just listen to what some of our local advertisers are saying.
Hi, it's Bill here from Lancaster Bed Company. We're very happy to support Beyond Radio, our local radio station. We advertise on here because it works for us and they're fantastic people. Everybody should support them.
So, if you're looking for cost-effective and creative ways to advertise your business, call the Beyond Radio advertising line now on 01524 88 42 44. That's Lancaster 88 42 44. Beyond Radio advertising. It may not cost as much as you think.
Here on the Resident on Beyond Radio, just going to bring it up to date on that incident. Station, the level crossing barriers were down for a period of time, which caused some diversion of traffic and some disruption in the area. There was an unconfirmed report of a vehicle crashing into the barrier. There's been nothing to confirm that we're aware of. Officially, the information we're getting from National Rail is that there was a fault with the barriers that was being looked at by Network Rail. And we have heard, again unconfirmed, it'd be good if somebody could get in touch with the studio, let us know this for definite, but we have heard within the last few minutes that the barriers are up again and everything is getting back to normal. But if somebody could get in touch, let us know if you're out and about in the Bear Lane area and you're seeing what's going on for yourself. Email studio@beyondradio. Official information I'm getting from National Rail, courtesy of their Twitter account, is that the issue was due to a fault with the barriers.
103.5 Beyond Radio.
Yes, Fibbers Pub is back. Come back and rediscover your local. Introducing our newly launched food menu too, with live music, DJs every Friday and Saturday nights till late, and the return of the famous Fibbers karaoke and quiz. Fibbers Pub, with great food, great drinks, and great times.
Yeah. Coastal taxes. Far too far coastal taxes. Far too far, far too far. Crazy lady standing in the rain, called for a cab, but the mother never came. Crazy lady, now she's stuck in her own. Should've called coastal taxes, always get you home, yeah. Coastal taxes, yeah. Far too far, coastal taxes. Far too far, yeah.
The final question for the big prize. Which local company can help your business work smarter with managed IT systems, CRM, cloud and email solutions? A local company providing IT services? Do you want to use a lifeline?
No, it's easy. Hughes Solutions.
Is the correct answer. Hughes Solutions. Visit hughes.solutions or call 238 999.
When you think of M6, you may think of traffic delays. Not anymore. At M6 Media, we're all about website design and social media management. We create unique, affordable websites tailored to the needs of your business. We'll also manage your social media campaigns, saving you time and increasing revenue. M6 Media already create websites for many of Lancaster and Morecambe's most recognizable businesses. So for websites, social media, logos and more, M6 Media is your road to online success. Call us on 874-130 or visit m6media.co.uk.
Beyond Radio. Proud to be local.
Classic promoted images, happy birthday! Having a bit of an 80s theme in the second hour tonight. Just played a bit of Nick Kershaw as well. And Won't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. And Don't You Want Me by the Human League. Going to an 80s festival in Liverpool on Saturday, so just getting in the mood. Ha! No pun intended. So local news, what's happening? Well, worrying news today about the data breach at Lancaster University. names and addresses and telephone numbers of students stolen during the data breach of existing students and students wanting to come to the university next year. The university found out on Friday, told students yesterday, and have reported it to the law enforcement agencies. They described it as a sophisticated and malicious phishing attack. So we'll bring you more on that throughout the show. Talked about the Eric Morecambe statue. Well, it's been reported on the Lancaster Guardian and Visitor Facebook page today that 2.6 million people actually visit Morecambe for tourism visits in a year.